Welcome to Healthy Cooking and Shopping for Life. Today we're going to learn about small space gardening. My name is Elena Gordon, and here I have Juan Strickland, who is an expert at small space gardening. Mr. Strickland, tell us about this.
Well, Lita, thank you for having me very much.
Welcome.
I'm excited about gardening. I actually developed a love for gardening through my grandfather and my mother back east. And over the years, I've learned new techniques, and the latest technique that I use now predominantly is the earth box technique of gardening.
Okay, earth box. Okay, I've never heard about that, so I'm very interested.
Well, let me say at the very beginning that normally I would not use this type of plastic container. I only want you to be able to see the inside of the container and the different layers and levels of the earth box. And I'm going to describe the different components in a minute. Normally I would use a container like this that can endure the heat of the summer. Just yesterday it was 117 degrees.
Don't remind us.
And it just destroys plants often in the garden.
Okay.
So as you can see, there are different components. First you see a PVC pipe. This is a 1-inch pipe in diameter.
Okay.
This is how the water gets down into the earth box.
Oh,
so you take your garden hose and allow the water to go down into the PVC pipe. And
there is water down there.
There's water down there already. But actually, the water level should go up to where you see these drainage holes. If you can see these holes, you fill the water up until the water starts coming out of these holes. That tells you that the earth box is full.
It's full.
In terms of water.
Okay. And how often do you water them?
Well, in the early stages, you would just need to water maybe once a week, once every 4 or 5 days. As the plants grow and start to absorb more water and moisture, you may need to water them every other day.
Every other day, okay.
In some cases, in this type of heat, you may need to water it every day, as the plants grow larger.
A little larger, okay. All right.
Now, I also want you to see that it seems like the bottom third of the box is water. The top 2/3 is soil.
It's soil, okay.
But I want to be very clear about the type of soil to purchase. You don't want to use garden soil. Actually, you want to use potting mix.
Potting mix.
So when I say potting mix, all of us have heard of the Miracle-Gro potting mix.
Okay, and that works good.
It works the best because it's able to contain the moisture longer in the box. If you try to use something other than potting mix, people get confused. They buy potting soil. Soil won't do it. Soil will dry out.
So I can get no soil that's in my backyard. That won't work.
No, that won't work.
Oh, okay.
So the top 2/3 is the potting mix. Now, the soil is separated from the water because of 2 items. You can see that there are what I call 4-inch drainage pipe cylinders in the bottom.
Oh, those are the white things here.
Those are the white things there. So I have 3 on either side of the box.
Okay.
And then there's an aluminum mesh screen that's used to separate the soil. And this is placed on top of the 6 cylinders. Okay. And then the important thing is that before you put the screen on top of the cylinders, you must fill each cylinder with wet potting mix. Which is interesting. And what's happening is that the water is actually absorbing the nutrients from that potting mix, and the moisture is coming up into the soil.
Into the soil, okay.
So
interesting.
So you have the empty box, you place in the 6 cylinders, you put wet potting mix in each one of the cylinders, you place the screen on top, then you place additional wet potting mix on top of the screen. And you can come all the way up to the top of the box.
Okay. So the screen needs to be big enough to cover the entire diameter?
That's right. And so I actually cut the screen to fit whatever size box I'm using.
Okay.
All right.
Now, where do you buy the screen at?
I go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy this aluminum wire meshing. And what's beautiful is that over time you'll see the actual roots go down through the soil all the way into the water. They actually look like jellyfish.
Really?
There's so many roots. It's a beautiful sight to see. Normally you wouldn't be able to see that with the opaque color that I showed earlier, but
with this
you can
one you can
visualize
see
it here
it.
what would be happening.
Okay.
Okay. So what I normally do is I'll put in additional soil.
And you just want to put enough soil to bring it up to the top?
Right, we bring it up to the top.
Okay.
Okay. And then we would, at some point, take out the tomato plant.
Okay.
And of course, you want to get the bottom of this
Why do you remove the bottom?
so the roots can extend down into the soil.
Good point.
All
Good
right.
point.
And I should be using my garden gloves at this point. And so one of the things that's great about the earth box is you're avoiding digging with a shovel.
Yes,
about rocks
I don't like doing that.
and the sandy soils. You don't have to worry about what is the pH level of the soil.
Okay.
Is it appropriate? And so the whole idea is to take these plants, and you can visualize what would be happening here is that the soil would be built up around these plants. And I also, before I put in all the final soil, I apply a couple additional elements.
What is this?
This is gypsum, and gypsum is really great to add calcium and phosphorus,
Minerals.
for the plant,
soil.
and also helps the soil to drain easier.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll put in some gypsum and sprinkle it around, and then apply additional soil.
Where do you get the gypsum at?
Again, any private nursery or Armstrong,
okay.
Lowe's type retail outlet, very
okay.
common. And then once the soil is laid in on top, depending on the type of fertilizer, you can apply fertilizer on the very top of the soil, just in a line,
Okay.
right on top of the soil. Okay, you can buy different types of fertilizers. Some are designed to be used with water. Some are designed to mix in the soil.
Okay.
This one is designed to mix in the soil, but there are others that can lie on top of the soil,
And they'll be fine. Okay.
and they'll be fine.
All right. So does it matter, depending on the plant, what type of fertilizer you use?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't? Okay.
It doesn't. They all pretty much work the same.
Same? Okay.
What's very important though is spacing.
Okay.
A lot of people really get this wrong, but I don't know if you can actually see this schematic. It's a planting guide, and it's showing you, based on the type of plant you want to plant, how to lay those plants out. So for example, with tomatoes, rarely will you see more than 2 tomatoes in a box.
Oh,
Okay?
okay.
I've tried different scenarios over the years to see if I can get more production. Maybe I could put 4 tomatoes in the box. But what happens is that the tomatoes tend to be smaller.
Because the roots don't have enough space to expand. Is that what it is?
Exactly.
Ooh.
And then also
Okay,
you'll
that makes
see
sense.
scenarios where the bottom of the tomato, and these are actually Earthbox tomatoes from this year's garden.
Okay.
Aren't these
Looks
great?
Nice. It looks
Look at
nice.
these. Look at these. I also have some chili, Anaheim chilies.
Oh, okay. This is really
I don't know if you want to bite.
jalapenos.
if you
No,
wanna
I'm
bite
not.
into a
I'm not
jalapeno.
tasting that.
All right. But these are from Earth Boxes from this year's garden, just fantastic. I also have some basil here that, smell that.
Ooh, that is so good. Yes, wonderful.
I also have a little rosemary.
Oh, I like
So you're not just
rosemary.
stuck with tomatoes.
You can do a lot of
can do a
different
lot of herb
things,
gardening.
gardens too. Okay.
So for example, if I had maybe some bell peppers, I might have 4 and 4. Okay?
Okay.
If I have too many tomatoes, or if the soil is dried out in different areas because there's just too many plants, not enough moisture, then you'll get something called the bottom rot, where the bottom half of the tomato turns really dark,
Okay.
and it looks, like it's just spoiled. So you want to really pay attention and respect the planting guide. Is very important to follow.
So where do you get the planting guide?
Actually, off the internet.
Off the internet?
Right.
Okay, all right.
There are earth boxes you could buy off the internet. I happen to make my own. Okay?
That
so
makes
I can make
sense.
this for about $10 to $12.
Okay.
But if I buy it off the internet, I'm looking at paying about $30 or more for an earth box.
I think we can make it. Yeah,
we've actually done fundraisers
easy.
where we've actually put a bunch of men together at our church.
Really?
And we sold them to our members and family members to raise money. It's a great project to do.
Yes, definitely.
But very inexpensive to put this together.
So you're telling me to make this earth box, you said about $20?
No, it's about $10 to $12.
About $10 to $12.
In terms of the material cost, not counting the soil.
Not counting the soil.
Right.
All right, so if I do the materials plus the soil plus the plants, that's about $25, $30?
By the time you add the soil, you're probably, in the plants, you're looking at maybe around $20.
That's
if you include the plants.
Yes, and you get your own organic tomatoes.
That's right, exactly. And by the way, speaking of organic tomatoes, I don't use any pesticides.
Okay.
If I do, it's either organic
or
usually I just buy ladybugs.
You do?
I buy ladybugs, I release them in the evening while the sun is setting, when the sun is down. You don't want to release the ladybugs when the sun is still up because they'll fly away. They'll go to Steve's garden, or Stephanie's garden. I want them to stay in my garden.
That's right.
So you release them at nighttime. And then the next day you'll see them all over the plants. And they take care of the pests.
The ladybugs, please refresh my mind. Why you do that?
The ladybugs actually help defend and protect the plants against different pests and insects.
Okay, ladybugs, okay.
Exactly.
See, we like them on buttons and so forth and t-shirts. We didn't know, okay, ladybugs.
Yep. Absolutely.
Awesome, wonderful,
Absolutely.
wonderful, wonderful. So today, and this is as simple as this, ABC.
ABC.
Wow.
And by the way, you can put, I actually put a tomato cage.
Oh, there's a tomato cage?
You can put tomato cages in here. You might want to spread them a little bit more to the side, give a little bit more room for the tomato cages.
Okay.
And you can put, support beams in there. Because they'll need a lot of support over time.
Okay.
And I do a lot of canning. I'll do maybe 30 to 40 quarts of tomatoes this summer.
Oh, really?
In the hot, water bath type canning. And I'll can some peaches, but my favorite thing to can is the tomatoes.
It's a tomato. Well, next time you'll have to teach us how to do that.
Absolutely.
Well, today we learned a very easy step to make this small space garden. We can do our own organic tomatoes and peppers and jalapenos and herbs. And in less than $20, we can do this and have organic products, which are healthier for us. Correct? Yes, organic are healthier for us. So today we learned a lot of things about. I'm amazed at this. I definitely have to get into this because I've been thinking about gardening, but the work that goes into it is so much.
Right.
But this, I got an awesome idea. Thank you for sharing this today.
Thank you for having me today.
You're welcome.